Hi there, and welcome back to Brand-Bait's podcast. This is episode 3, already on number 3. And today I'd like to have a little look at Elon Musk. And again, as per usual, I've made a few notes, and also we will be tearing apart the Wikipedia page just to get some more in-depth details, because I don't want to lead you astray. Now, for any one of you who has been living under a rock for the last 10 years, Elon Musk is, well, as of now, the wealthiest man on earth. Well, all his company holdings anyway. So I want to really talk about, obviously, Elon Musk as the businessman, but not really, as I do with all the other ones, not so much his early business ventures, it's when he made it really, really big. So the 3 companies I want to look at, and really, like, especially the way the world is going right now, the forward-thinking nature of him and making stuff we didn't even know we needed, and also having stuff for the future, not just for now. So I want to talk a little bit about Tesla, Spacex, and SolarCity. And SolarCity is basically SolarCity and Tesla Energy. Now, I'm mostly interested in SpaceX and Tesla's Energy along with SolarCity, because I believe those are very much the forward-thinking aspects of the business. But also you can't really negate Tesla either. So, because he put a considerable amount of money into these companies, and obviously now they're all paying dividends. So it's just basically an eye-opener for you that, play the long game, don't so much play the short game. Right, so let's have a little look at Tesla. Right, so Tesla Inc., originally Tesla Motors, was incorporated in July 2003 by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, who financed the company until the Series A round of funding. Both men played active roles in the company's early development prior to Musk's involvement. Musk led the Series A round of investments in February 2004. He invested $6.5 million, became the majority shareholder, and joined Tesla's board of directors as chairman. Musk overtook an active role within the company and oversaw Roadster production design, and was not deeply involved in day-to-day business operations. Following a series of escalating conflicts in 2007 and the 2008 financial crisis, Eberhard was ousted from the firm. Musk assumed leadership of the company as CEO and product architect in 2008. A 2009 lawsuit settlement with Eberhard designated Musk as a Tesla co-founder, along with Tarpenning and 2 others. As of 2019, Elon Musk is the longest tenured CEO of any automotive manufacturer globally. Quite shocked at that, actually, really, considering there are bigger car companies out there. But anyway, Tesla first built an electric car, the Roadster, in 2008 with sales of about 2,500 vehicles. It was the first serial production all-electric car to use lithium-ion battery cells. Tesla began delivery of its 4-door Model S sedan in 2012. A crossover, the Model X, was launched in 2015. A mass-market sedan, the Model 3, was released in 2017. As of March 2020, it is the world's best-selling electric car with more than 500,000 units delivered. A 5th vehicle, the Model Y crossover, was launched in 2020. The Cybertruck is an all-electric pickup truck, was unveiled in 2019. Under Musk, Tesla has constructed multiple lithium-ion battery and electric vehicles sub-assembly factories, such as in Nevada and in China, and they're called Gigafactory 1 and 3. Since the initial public offering in 2010, Tesla stock has risen significantly. It became the most valuable car maker in summer of 2020 and entered the SP 500 later that year. So you can obviously see where the world's going with fossil fuels and everything. Electric cars are definitely a step in the right direction. I don't know whether it will be in my opinion, be the total answer, because I hold a lot of hope for biofuels and also different kinds of like hydrogen and stuff like that. And I don't think any electrical energy on its own is the answer, but it's definitely gonna be part of the answer, in my opinion anyway. I mean, you can, if you're an electric car nut, then you're gonna say it's the answer anyway. So I must apologise for my voice a little bit. I am getting a little bit under the weather, but anyway, we shall soldier on. Right, now let's talk about SpaceX. Now, SpaceX I find really interesting because obviously that's where we're going to end up going sooner or later. Sorry, some coffee's needed. Now, it is absolutely fascinating how this man has created a rocket company. I know Jeff Bezos is doing it as well, but this guy is a serial engineer. He loves the engineering side of it. And for someone to say to him that you can't do something is, well, it's a real kick in his teeth. So he goes out and does it. So now he has obviously SpaceX. And as far as I'm aware, because I'm recording this late 2021, so it's, in case you're listening to this in the future, we have been sending Falcon rockets up with SpaceX to the International Space Station, which is absolutely fantastic, really, if you think about it. And I mean, it's not government owned or anything, it's a private company. Anyway, let's get into it. In 2001, Musk became involved with a non-profit Mars Society. He was inspired by plans to place a growth chamber for plants on Mars and discussed funding the project himself. In October 2001, Musk travelled to Moscow to buy refurbished intercontinental ballistic missiles. Only a millionaire has these kind of things that could send the greenhouse payloads into space. He met with companies NPO Lovochkin and Cosmotras. However, Musk was seen as a novice and was even spat on by one of the Russian chief designers. The group returned to the United States empty-handed. In February 2002, the group returned to Russia to look at 3 ICBMs. They had another meeting with the Cosmotras, I'm going to get this right, Cosmotras, I think that's how you say it, and were offered one rocket for $8 million, which Musk rejected. Musk instead decided to start a company that could build affordable rockets with $100 million of his early fortune. Musk founded Space Exploration Technology Corp, traded as SpaceX. I didn't know it was called that. Oh, see, he learns something new every day. In May 2002, as of 2021, he remains company CEO and also holds the title of Chief Engineer. After 3 failed launches, SpaceX succeeded in the launching of the Falcon 1 in 2008. It was the first private liquid-fueled rocket to reach Earth orbit. Later that year, SpaceX received a $1.6 billion commercial resupply service program contract for 12 flights for its Falcon 9 rockets and Dragon spacecraft to the International Space Station, replacing the Space Shuttle after its 2011 retirement. In 2012, the Dragon vehicle berthed with the International Space, I was going to say ISS then, the International Space Station for a first private enterprise. Working towards its goal to reusable rockets, in 2015, SpaceX successfully landed its first stage of the Falcon 9. Landings were later achieved on the Autonomous Spaceport drone ship, an ocean-based recovery platform. In 2018, SpaceX launched the Falcon Heavy. The inaugural mission carried Musk's private Tesla Roadster as a dummy payload. Hold on a sec, let's go back a little bit. Right, so not only did this man have to build a rocket, he had to build booster systems, all whilst everyone was telling him that he couldn't do it. And then he had to design, manufacture and make work an autonomous spaceport drone ship to capture the stages for the Falcon 9. I mean, if you're not impressed by that, I don't know what's going to impress you. I mean, whatever you think of this man, whether it's personal or business philosophies or whatever, he is a beacon for people of just get going and figure it out. Obviously, he had different kinds of advantages within, obviously, like money and the people he can have around him, but obviously he was totally dedicated and committed to this. So he put everything he had into it and he built all these things. Anyway, let's get back to it. So in 2017, SpaceX unveiled its next generation launch vehicle and spacecraft system, he's obsessed with Falcons, Big Falcon rocket, later renamed to Starship, which would support all SpaceX launch service providers' capabilities. In 2018, SpaceX announced a planned 2023 lunar circumnavigation mission, a private flight called Dear Moon Project. In 2020, SpaceX launched its first crewed flight, the Demo 2, becoming the first private company to place a person into orbit and dock a crewed safely spacecraft with the International Space Station. Bearing in mind, 2020 was dreaded COVID year. So that being said, I'm sorry I'm drinking so much, and I understand it's probably a really horrible sound, but I'm trying to get this. So hopefully this will pay off. I really want this podcast to work. So anyway, SpaceX began to develop of the Starlink Constellation of low Earth orbit satellites in 2015 to provide satellite internet access. With the first two prototype satellites launched in February 2018, the second set of test satellites and the first large deployment of a piece of constellation occurred in May 2019, when the first 60 operational satellites were launched. A total cost of the decade-long project to design, build and deploy the constellation is estimated by SpaceX to be around $10 billion. $10 billion. That's so much money. I can't. Anyway. Right, so this is, again, another interesting thing. So he's not only manufacturing electric cars, he's manufacturing his own lithium ion cells, but he's also doing his own solar energy panels, which again is going to help the future. It doesn't matter where you look at it, this man is going to improve our future. We will use less carbon-rich fuels, and we will use more of the great big battery that's in that sky, thanks to Elon Musk. So again, whatever you think about him, he is doing great work. And I know, people say that these billionaires need to do more and they need to do this and they need to do that. And Prince William comes out and says that, billionaires have got to take more of a role in the future. Just look at Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. They are building the future. They may not be doing overly great visual things now, but they're building the future. So they are trying, and I firmly believe that they are trying. And I also believe Prince William's got his place, to say what he wants to say, and, he's at liberty to say so, and he is right. We do need to do more. I need to do more. Everyone needs to do more. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm going on a little rant here. Right, SolarCity and Tesla Energy. Musk provided the initial concept and financial capital for SolarCity, which his cousins, Lydon and Peter Rive, co-founded in 2006. Rive or Reeve, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. By 2013, SolarCity was the second largest provider of solar power systems in the United States. In 2014, Musk promoted the idea of SolarCity building an advanced production facility in Buffalo, New York, triple the size of the largest solar plant in the United States. Construction on the factory started in 2014 and was completed in 2017. It operated as a joint venture with Panasonic until early 2020 when Panasonic departed. Tesla acquired SolarCity for over $2 billion in 2016 and merged it with its battery energy storage production division to create Tesla Energy. The announcement of the deal resulted in more than 10% drop in Tesla stock price. At the time, SolarCity was facing liquidity issues. However, Tesla shareholders were not informed. Consequently, multiple shareholder groups filed a lawsuit against Musk and Tesla's directors, claiming that the purchase of SolarCity was done solely to benefit Musk and came at the expense of the Tesla and its shareholders. This is what I don't understand. I mean, maybe because I'm not really, tech savvy and shareholders, and I understand that these people are putting their own money into funding his ideas, but if you're putting that much faith in him to put your money in his hands, have some faith that he's going to at least look after it a little bit. During the 2019 court deposition, Musk acknowledged that the company reallocated every possible employee from the solar division to work on the Model 3. And according to Musk, as a result, Solar suffered. This had not previously been disclosed to shareholders. Court documents unsealed in 2019 have confirmed that Musk was also aware of the company's liquidity issues. Tesla directors settled the lawsuit in January 2020, leaving Musk the sole remaining defendant. That's not cool. SolarCity will be massive. Tesla Energy will be massive as well. We're talking about not only solar panels for your roof, we're talking about batteries that go under every new house. We're talking about renewable energy storage. This is going to change. It still shocks me now that we're still building modern houses now with gas central heating and gas boilers when we have electrical options and we can put solar panels on every roof. I know it's going to increase the cost of housing, but it's also going to make it more desirable. Personally, like for me, if I was going to purchase a house with either gas central heating or I had an option for a solar panelled electric house with underground storage of electricity, so basically all my bills go down, I use less energy, and I'm actually producing some to go back to the grid. It's a no-brainer, really. It depends on how you stand on climate change, obviously, because it's your right and your preference whether you'd like to obviously be part of that debate. But that's a completely different debate all in itself. And I don't really want to get dragged into that, to be honest, because that's not really my field. So he's got a few other different kind of companies. Those are the main ones, and those are the ones that I'm personally excited about. And as I said in my other videos, my other podcasts, you can look up this stuff for yourself. And if you're really interested in SolarCity, Tesla Energy, Tesla, or Spacex individually, then I implore you to please look it up. He also runs a thing called Neuralink. Now, I only found out about Neuralink during 2020 when it was all in lockdown and I really didn't have anything else to do. So bear in mind, he's running all these companies in one go. Everything I've just said has been going concurrently, one by side of the other. Every time he makes an acquisition, he doesn't let go of the previous one. I dare say he releases more control to the senior management, but ultimately he's the CEO. In 2016, Musk co-founded Neuralink, a neurotechnology startup company to integrate the human brain with AI. Neuralink's purpose is to create devices that are embedded in the human brain to facilitate the merging of the brain with machines. The devices will also reconcile with the latest improvements in artificial intelligence to stay up to date. Such improvements could enhance memory or allow the device to communicate with software more effectively. At a live demonstration in August 2020, Musk described one of the early devices as a Fitbit in your skull that could soon cure paralysis, deafness, blindness, and other disabilities. Many neuroscientists and publications criticized these claims. The MIT Technology Review described them as highly speculative and neuroscience theatre. Now, bearing in mind, they told him that about SpaceX, so I believe he's not there yet, but if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be him. He just has that kind of drive, and it's just, I don't even know when this guy sleeps. I know I don't sleep a lot, but this guy is something different. Right, so he also has this thing called the Boring Company. So in 2016, Musk founded the Boring Company to construct tunnels. In the early 2017, they began discussions with a regulatory body with initiated construction of a 30-foot, 9.1 metre wide, 50 per foot by 15 metre long and a 15 foot by 4.6 metres deep test trench on the premises of SpaceX offices, as it required no permits. A tunnel beneath the Las Vegas Convention Center was completed in early 2021. Local officials have approved further expansions of the tunnel system. As a merchandising and publicity stunt, the Boring Company sold... So we're talking about boring as in digging holes here, not boring as in boring. As in, like, this person is boring. Sold 2,000 novelty flamethrowers in 2018. The idea was allegedly inspired by Mel Brooks' directed film Spaceballs in 1987. Now, if you watch, there's on Joe Rogan's podcast, he mentions these flamethrowers. And I believe, you can quote me if I'm wrong, he actually said in it, he encouraged people not to buy it. And they still sold out. So that's great. That's absolutely fantastic. So, what's Hyperloop? I haven't read about this. So in 2013, Musk announced plans for a version of a VAC train, assigning a dozen engineers from Tesla and SpaceX to establish a conceptual foundations and create initial designs. Now, bear in mind, he's doing basically what Henry Ford did with the V8 motor. He took engineers, gave them a... This is a little bit back to the... I didn't mention this in the Henry Ford one, but... So he told engineers to build him a V8 motor. Now, within this V8 motor, it took them... I can't remember exactly how many years, but it took them a long time to get this V8 motor. But he didn't just stop. He knew what he wanted. So it looks like he's doing the same thing, which he dubbed the Hyperloop. The alpha design for the system was published in a white paper posted to the Tesla and SpaceX blogs. The document scoped out the technology and outlined a national route where such a transport system could be built between Greater Los Angeles area and the San Francisco Bay Area, at an estimated cost of $6 billion. The proposal, if technologically feasible at the cost he has cited, would make the Hyperloop the travel cheaper than other modern mode of transport, such as long distances. Again, I mean, he's doing this all whilst running all these other companies. In June 2015, Musk announced a design competition for students and others to build a Hyperloop pod to operate on a SpaceX-sponsored mile-long track in a 2015-2007 Hyperloop pod competition. The track was used in 2017, and Musk also announced that the company started a tunnel project with Hawthorne Airport as its destination. In July 2017, Musk claimed that he had received verbal government approval to build the Hyperloop from New York City to Washington, D.C., stopping in both Philadelphia and Baltimore. Mention of the project for the DC and Baltimore were removed from the Boring Company's website later in 2021. I wonder whether he's still working on that then. We'll have to just wait and see, I suppose. Like I said, in 2018 he appeared on the Joe Rogan podcast, and I believe he's done another one. So, here's the important bit. So, the wealth. This is how much this guy's worth. And does it go up to modern day? I'm not sure. I know. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it does. Yeah. So, Musk made $165 million when PayPal was sold to eBay in 2002. This is the one previous to Tesla and SpaceX. So again, this is a very big part of his life, and if you want to delve into that, please feel free. He was listed as Forbes billionaires in 2012 with a net worth of $2 billion. At the start of 2020, Musk had a net worth of $27 billion. Throughout that year, his net worth increased by $150 billion. So 2020, he was worth $27 billion. During a pandemic year, he increased by $150 billion. Largely driven by ownership of around 20% of Tesla stock. So it's insane. During this, Musk's net worth was often volatile. For example, it dropped to $16.3 billion in September, the largest single-day plunge in history. the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. In November of that year, Musk passed Facebook co-founder Mark Zuckerberg to become the third richest person in the world. A week later, he passed Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates to become the second richest. In January 2021, Musk, with a net worth of $185 billion, surpassed Amazon co-founder Jeff Bezos to become the richest person in the world. Bezos reclaimed the top position the following month. On September 27, 2021, Forbes announced that Musk had a net worth of over $200 billion and was the richest person in the world after Tesla stock surged. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that's gone up now. I believe Tesla stock has gone up. Not sure of this percentage, but again, you can go around and have a look at that. There's this guy, what's his name now? I can't remember his name. I'll give him a shout out in the later one. But I follow him on YouTube, and he gave the list of that. So, is there anything else interesting? Okay, so let's put, what is COVID-19 stance? And again, whatever yours is, it's your opinion. So keep it to yourself. Don't go off in the comments saying what yours is. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So I'm not getting into this debate. Musk was criticised for his public comments and the conduct related to COVID-19 pandemic. He spread misinformation about the virus, including promoting chloroquine as claiming that the death statistics were manipulated. At the start of the pandemic, he claimed that children are essentially immune. Twitter determined that given the overall context of the inclusion tweet did not break the COVID-19 rules. Commentary and the discussion was described as irresponsible. Musk also called the coronavirus pandemic as dumb. Musk repeatedly criticised lockdowns and violated local orders by reopening the Tesla factory. In March 2020, commenting on the New York Times reported that China had reopened no new cases of a domestic spread of the novel coronavirus. Musk predicted that there would be probably close to 0 new cases in the US by the end of April. Later labelled the statement one of the most audacious, confident, and speculative, incorrect, protagonistical comments of 2020. Who writes a sentence like that? In November 2020, the phrase "Space Karen" trended on Twitter in connection with Musk after he tweeted misinformation about the effectiveness of the COVID-19 testing. Also, in March 2020, Musk I've lost my place. Also, in 2020, Musk offered to donate ventilators which Tesla would build or buy from third parties. Multiple hospitals noted that devices eventually donated were BiPAP and CPAP machines, not the sought-after ventilators. But the machines could still be used to free up ventilators for the sickest patients. He's just done that. He didn't even have to. So in 2021, findings of the antibody testing programs that Spacex worked with doctors and academic researchers to create were published in the Nature Communications, which Musk listed as a co-author. Right, hopefully that's helped you a little bit. I'm not really going to go too much into it because basically, like I said, unless you've been living under a rock, everybody knows what Elon Musk does. Now, most of the people know him for Tesla and PayPal and SpaceX, but obviously SolarCity and Tesla Energy, Neuralink, the Boring Company, that sort of sign is a little bit more interesting and a little bit more forward-thinking. So, just to if you've actually managed to stay listening to me, his managerial style and the treatment of employees. So again, as you know, I run Brandbait, which is a leadership and management company. I like to coach and help leaders who have been placed in positions to help come to grips more with it and make their style work within their organisation. So this is what Wikipedia says about his. Musk's managerial style and treatment of his employees has been heavily criticised. One person who worked closely with Musk says that he exhibits a high level of degenerative behaviour, such as paranoia and bullying. Another described him as exhibiting total and complete pathological sociopathy. I believe is a sociopath. Business Insider reported that the Tesla employees were told not to walk past Musk's desk because of his wild firing rampages. I shouldn't laugh. The Wall Street Journal reported that after Musk insisted on branding his vehicles as self-driving, he faced criticism from his engineers, some of whom resigned in response, with one stating that Musk's reckless decision-making had potentially put customers' lives at risk. In 2020 book, Power Play contains multiple anecdotes of Musk's berating employees. Obviously, my personal opinion is this kind of behaviour is not needed in the modern workplace, and you can get better results, better ways. But obviously, I'm not gonna just state here that he is not a success. I don't agree with the style that he may be doing these things. I have no power, unless Elon Musk wants me to come and help him. I have no power in which to change that. And I don't believe he's going to change anyway, because he's pretty successful as it is. And he employs thousands of people. So, these people either accept the way that he is, or they can go. They don't have to work there. So again, it's one of those. It is who he is, and it's part of who he is. So anyway, that brings this podcast to a close. I hope you've enjoyed listening to a little bit more about Elon Musk, and I'll catch you in the next one.